Hi, it's Kevin Burns from TheFoamingHead.com, here with Jason, head of beer development. Did I get that right?
Yes.
Jason, head of beer development here at Ommegang. It's my first visit. It's one of my all-time favorite breweries, and it is the brewery that turned me on to craft beer. So I guess it's responsible for the Foaming Head. So thank you, Jason. We just did an amazing vertical of Three Philosophers. Jason, can you just tell, in case anybody doesn't know, what is the Three Philosophers? What is it about? What style is it?
It's a beer based on a quadruple style. We have it's about 9.8% alcohol, darker in color, as you can see. This is the 2003 right here, and we add about 2% Belgian Creek to it during the brewing process, which lends it some extra fruity flavors. Some of that ages into chocolate. Overall, the quadruple is not a standard Belgian style, but it sort of has developed into that over the years.
This is courtesy of Larry here.
Yeah, Three Philosophers. We're proud to have as our example of it.
And it's one of my favorite beers. It's one of the beers that turned me on to craft beer. And what I did is I brought up some vintage data. Everybody here at Ommegang, they vintage date their Three Philosophers. And I brought up a vintage from 2005, 2010. You were kind enough to bring out a 2003, which is the first year that you brewed it.
That's true. And this is not the original one, but it's from that same year.
It's what we're drinking right now, and I hope all you guys watching are extremely jealous.
It's fairly clear.
I hope you guys are extremely jealous, because this is kind of rare, and I really feel honored here to taste it. Now, we tasted some other stuff. I think you guys put a small amount of this in a barrel age.
Yep, we stuck it in some Buffalo Creek bourbon barrels we were able to obtain. Very small, limited production, about 200 bottles. And, so yeah, we were lucky to whip some of that out. And,
some of the barrel-aged Adoration, which is your winter seasonal.
That's true, about the same, number of bottles, 200 bottles. Still not sure what we're going to do with it. Chance we might have it for sale later in the year. Very exclusive though.
So we did our own little private tasting of the vertical, and I know you did a big scale version of this vertical at last weekend at Belgium Comes to Cooperstown. How do you think, I talked to you a little bit off camera, but how do you think it's aged? We tasted 2003, and that's still drinking really well. What are your expectations for aging this beer? I know you said you liked it right around 2 to 3 years is really the peak.
It's a personal preference as far as, and that is, with the caveat of that's the volume. That with a larger volume, if I was to drink a glass of beer, fresh Three Philosophers, that's going to be number one. But when you start getting into the aged beers, which I'm interested in, not everybody's interested in that, but I am, and you are, and other people are. I find that Three Philosophers is best at 2 to 3 years. Personally, I've been doing this for about 4 years. I've been able to taste at least 4 different vintages that were 2 to 3 years based on that. I find it to be the most consistent and most stable presentation of the beer. Once it gets beyond that, it doesn't necessarily get worse. It's just that I find that I like it in a smaller glass. It gets a little bit more leathery, a little bit more raisin flavor.
And a dark fruit came out.
Yeah, it actually gets a little bit more interesting. Yeah, a lot of big sherry flavor. I find some people think it's 40 type of flavor. I actually think it's more sherry-like. Comparatively, I have some sherry, and when I do this at home, I have a big collection in my basement. So I'll do tasting with random friends that are coming from all over the country. And I'll just lay out the sherry, smell that first. This is what sherry, because not a lot of people really know what sherry is.
No.
And you lay it out, and that smell of Three Philosophers. That's it right there. This 2003 tastes like it was aged in butter sacks.
It tastes wonderful. It's still got all the body. It's rounded out a little bit. We're here, Foaming Head at Brewery Ommegang, one of my all-time favorite New York breweries, doing a vertical of Three Philosophers. Jason, thank you for spending some time with me.
Excellent.
You can check them out, Ommegang.com.
Ommegang.com.
And TheFoamingHead.com. Jason, cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.